So, looking back at last year's game against Boise State, kind of being at home, I guess, for
hmm
you, what are your thoughts as you look back, and it's been a whole year since that game?
Yeah, been a crazy experience. Been a crazy year. A lot has obviously transpired since then, and been through a lot of difficult times. A lot of things that have made me a better person, a better football player. But the Boise State was a fun game for me. Was my first opportunity to really come in and lead the team, lead the offense as the quarterback on the field every play. And it was a great experience for me. And unfortunately, we came up a little short. And I still remember that feeling, and something that I don't want to feel again.
Were you ever considering playing for Boise State, playing for the state hometown team, I guess, in a way?
Yeah, a little bit. As you mentioned, they were just up the road from me, 3.5, 4 hours away, and an Idaho team and a team that I kind of followed a little bit because we were so close. But when it came down to it, it didn't really appeal to me, and I obviously chose elsewhere and ended up here. So, and haven't regretted it once.
When you play them, like Friday night, do you think of it as going against the hometown team, or you're over that and it's just another team?
Yeah, I'm kind of over that. It's fun because I have a following in Idaho, and so there's a lot of Boise State fans from where I'm from, and there's going to be a lot of people that will want to come to this game. And I had a lot of people that were at the game for me last year, and it'll be a fun environment. It'll be a fun game. I'm looking forward to that. But look, Provo is my home, BYU is my home, and so it's a home game for me because we're playing here in Provo.
You said off the top that it's been a tough year. Um, how have you changed as a player from game one this year to going up against Boise State on Friday? It has been roller coaster.
hmm Yeah, it has. Like I think the biggest thing for me is managing the game. I felt like last year when I came in as a freshman, I needed to make a huge play every play, and not that I was trying as hard as I could to make plays and do all those things. But I think this year I've become more of a game manager, and something that I continue to always improve on. Um, I felt like last year, and many of our fans would probably disagree or say that it's not true, but I've tried to protect myself more so this year. And part of what I was alluding to, where I felt like I needed to make a big play, was me lowering my shoulder when it was completely unnecessary last year. And part of that is, I sat and watched Riley play, and I tried to continue to do what he did. And I think that was part of it. But I think this year I've been smarter in the way of managing the hits that I've taken.
How do you think you've changed from Virginia to Boise State?
Um, I think again, there's been a lot of things that have changed. Our offense, I feel like, has kind of transformed, and I actually thought about that very question today of how our offense has evolved from Virginia to where we are now, and a lot of our scheme has changed, and which has been good, and it gives a lot of credit to Coach Anai and his ability to make changes for the better. But I think for me personally, I think it's being smarter. Not always trying to force a big play downfield, but taking what the defense will give me, and hey, if we have positive yards on a play, that's a positive play, and eliminating the negative yards and the negative plays that we have.
Can you be a little more specific on the changes that Anai made scheme-wise? What are fans seeing? What are you seeing that's different?
The biggest thing for me is we had a few route concepts and a few routes where were basically based on the receiver. So he had the option to either run like a curl route or take it up the field and various things like that. And it was hard to be on the same page, and it was hard to have good timing while doing those things. And that's been a small change, but for me, it's made a big difference on my ability to throw the ball on time and do various things like that. So that, and I think that we start throwing the ball more on first and second downs later in the first half of the season, and I think that's helped us be successful, and we've eliminated the third and longs that we had at the beginning of the season.
Just a few games in, I don't know if you heard the criticism. Did you listen to the criticism, read the criticism about your passing game? Did that bother you?
No, look, there's a lot of interviews, there's a lot of things that's said outside of our student-athlete building, outside of our locker room, and to be honest, the things that matter to me are the things that are said in the locker room, the things that go on there, and those are the things that I pay attention to. So, no, look, there's always going to be critics everywhere I go, and that's just part of playing quarterback, and I realize that, but you know, I don't listen to it, but I'm aware that those things are out there.
When you look at your numbers just this past weekend, over 400 yards passing, how have you changed as a passer from Virginia to this week?
Yeah, I don't think that there's been this huge change, and I'm not surprised by it. But you know, you mentioned Virginia, and there are a lot of things that took place in Virginia. The weather was horrible. It was our first game in a new offense with a new offensive coach, a new staff, a new system, and there are a lot of things that played into our lack of offense productivity. And I think part of that was our passing scheme, and those things have evolved, and there have been a lot of things that have changed from then until now, and obviously it's been for the better, but look, I've never once doubted my ability to do this.
Do you ever feel the pressure of coming to a school where the history is a passing game and there's a lot more running than there has been in previous years? Is that a pressure to you, or is that something you embrace?
No. Look, I love to throw the ball. Yeah, I'm a quarterback, and if you were to ask me to describe, would you rather run for 259 yards against Texas or throw for 400 and some on yards against Houston, I would say I want to throw the ball. But I think the bottom line is, with this new system, with this new scheme, the run game is a big part of what we do. And our run game has opened up a lot of passing windows for us that have allowed us to be successful. So I've said this before, and this is my mindset, that I'm willing to do anything that it takes to get the win. And as we saw against Houston, if that means that I'm carrying the ball 30 plus times, then that's what I'm going to do, and that's my mindset. The statistic that I worry about is the win-loss.
Any fear of running that much yourself, and the toll that may take on you physically? I mean, all the yards you gained against Houston, the hits you took. Did you ever get up and go, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this for a full season," or a full 4 years anyway?
Yeah. Look, I've had thoughts like that, but it's always come the next morning when I'm feeling the hits that I took in the game. I'm a really, really competitive person, and I'm a competitor on the field, and I never once think about, hey, that one hurt, like I can't do that anymore. That's never once gone through my mindset. So I trust Coach and and there came a point where what was working was me carrying the football, and that's what we did, and I'm willing to do that.
So now we look from Virginia to now. How do you want to see yourself, Taysom, at the end of the season? What would be a great success for you to look back and said that was a great year?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the wins and losses strictly, or?
Yeah, I think primarily. I think we have a great opportunity to go win every game on our schedule for the rest of the year, and we're a really good football team. And I see, as far as myself, I want to continue to get better every game. I want to be more productive than I was the last game. And obviously productivity is going to change based on the circumstance, the team, and what's asked and required of me. But I want to make sure that I continue to get better. And that is being efficient, eliminating the negative plays, and as I mentioned, making sure that even if we do have a bad play, that I turn it into either a no gain or some sort of positive play. And I just want to make sure that I continue to get better for the rest of the season and throughout the rest of my career.
Is there one thing you want to improve on, or is it a whole game situation, whole package situation?
I would say I think every quarterback or I would is decision making. I think in order to be a really good quarterback, you have to make good decisions, and especially in offense that we run, where every play there's a decision riding on me, and that's whether I hand the ball off or I pull it, and then I flip out a little shovel pass behind me, or I'm making reads and throwing the ball down the field. So the thing that I would say is I want to continue to progress in my decision making, make sure that I'm always seeing the guys I need to, seeing the keys, and making the right decision based on what the defense does.
How fun is it to be part of a record-setting receiver like Hoffman and throwing him those balls and seeing him have the success he has, and he's still got several games to go to break these even further?
Yeah, he does. It's been so fun to me, or for me, sorry. Cody is a good friend. We've spent a lot of time together in the off season, throwing, catching balls, and I was so happy to see Cody break those records and to continue to have the success that he has had. He's had some unique trials this season with injuries and other things, and so it's so fun to see Cody come out and play the way that he has and accomplish so much. And you think about a guy like Cody, where coming out of high school, this was basically one of his only offers, and to see the success that he has had based on his opportunity has been an incredible story, and it motivates me to continue to push harder and get better. And I'd love to see him succeed, and he'll continue to do the same. That's just who he is.
We talked about you, the thought of playing at Boise State really wasn't there, and then the Stanford thing, and now at BYU. What does it mean to you to play for BYU?
That's a loaded question. I've got a lot of feelings towards the school here, and I love our football team. I love the guys that I get a battle with every day, and those guys mean a lot to me. We put a lot of time in together, and we spend a lot of time in the weight room. We spend a lot of time in little dinner dates, or lunch dates, whatever it is. But I love those guys, and I'm grateful for the camaraderie that we have as a team, and I feel that is shown on the field on Saturday nights or Friday nights whenever we play. So a lot of it has to do with the guys that I'm surrounded with, and that includes the coaches as well. I've had a lot of unique opportunities with those guys that I've been with. Other than that, BYU and what it stands for is what I, as a person, stand for. I'm a big believer in what the school represents and what it stands for. I take my membership in the church very seriously, and I love having the opportunity to represent the University of BYU, and to represent and be a part of something much greater than I am. And I love that idea. So those would be the highlights for me so far.
Any concern that the offensive line has been shuffled so many times? Does that ever concern you?
Look, every quarterback is a little concerned with their O-line, because a lot of their success is based on how well those guys do. Everything starts up front. But the bottom line is I know that those guys have put in work, and they're going to go out and battle every play. And you think about, I know that there's been a lot of talk about what I did this last game, and carrying the ball as many times as I did, and throwing it for as many yards as I did. But the heroes are those guys in front of me. You think about being in the trenches for 115 plays. That's not an easy task, and those guys take a pounding. So I know I make mistakes. I know that there's going to be mistakes made, but I know that those guys are going to leave everything out on the field, and what more can you ask? So I trust those guys, and we can and will be, and will continue to be successful with those guys.
You're hearing, much better praise than the criticism. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think it goes both ways. Even after a good game, I don't read what's said about me. because I know that that can quickly change. So as far as having the opportunity to be the first BYU quarterback to throw for over 400 and rush for 100 and be a part of the guys in the country that have done it is a great honor for me. And it's one of those things that I haven't given a lot of thought to. I get to play college football, and I love what I do. I love playing football, and I love playing for BYU, and so all the other things that go along with it is just icing on the cake. And to have the opportunity, I guess, to be recognized, that is a great honor, and I'm grateful for that. But it's the guys again around me, the O-line, the receivers, Cody. You think about what he's done for me, and our running backs, and those guys have what allowed me to be successful. And so I'm grateful to those guys, and I do recognize it as an honor, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm just grateful to be able to share it with my team around me.
And in fact, you think you're only a sophomore. Do you ever think of that and go, wow, I've got two more years to do this?
Yeah, I do think about that, and it's exciting to me. I'm having so much fun playing here, and the thought of it ending, it's not a good feeling. So it's one of those things that I don't think about. But as far as the ending, yeah, I do think about the opportunity that's in front of me, and I get really excited about it.